big, are they?
I know you don't want to stop the little beggars from playing, but what else can you do? I wouldn't mind if they came from this street, but they don't. The mothers send them round to go and put balls through windows in this street. Honestly, I'll tell you something about that Tommy Barrow Club. Don't threaten him with his dad, threaten him with his man. He's about as much afraid of his dad as I am.
Good morning, ladies. Having a bit of trouble? I thought I heard a Barney going on.
It's these here kids from Maudsley
What,
Street.
do you want any help?
I don't think so, love. You know, I brought up two of my own.
You spoke a bit too soon. That's a mission window.
Wait till I get me hands.
You'll never catch
Won't
them.
I? Give me them matches. Now, I told you what for that.
Yeah, she's got a smashing pair of legs, you know, but she'll never catch them this side Christmas. Not in them shoes. You know, I tell you, the only way of stopping it's to make them pay up.
Ah, little monkeys. Anyway, the mothers are all customers.
Hey, have you noticed out?
What, Mr. Tatler?
Well, it's quiet, isn't it? Well, we're seeing the Sharples. She'll be on that doorstep yelling blue murder.
Do you know, I thought there was something peculiar.
She's at home, I suppose.
As far as I know, the curtains are still drawn.
Ah, and the milk's still out there. Yeah, I happen I'd better go across and tell her maybe she's round back or something.
Perhaps she's having a lie-in.
What, her? No, if you ask me, she's visiting. Or else she's eloped with clubman.
I wish she would.
Well, stranger things than that have happened. Any road, I'll go and make sure. Mrs. Sharples? Are you there? Mrs. Sharples? Oh, I reckon we're making some out and out. Yeah, didn't she say something about it being the grandchild's birthday the other day? Happens she's gone visiting.
That's where she'll be. Trust the sun to shine for Mrs. Sharp.
Aye, well done.
Hey,
What?
isn't that a light in the mission?
I don't know, I can't see for the sun.
It is, you know.
My gum, you're right. Well, there is something up then. She'd never leave a light on. Hey, Florrie, come here, quick.
What is it, Mr. Tatler?
It's Mrs. Sharples. She's lying on the floor there. I can't get this blooming vestry door open.
dear.
The flaming thing. I wish I'd never given that key back to Baxter now.
Hey, try mine. Perhaps that'll fit.
Oh, that's torn it. Look, it's floating clean off.
Well, shall I try the mission door?
No, I'll do that. You go and get some help. Hey, get out of you. We'll want a strong shoulder against this door.
Is it open, Mr. Tatler?
No, not yet. Hurry up. Get out of here over here.
Who in the name of goodness?
Oh, there you are, it's Harry.
Was it you that was knocking?
Oh, yes, something's happened to Mrs. Sharples and...
Harry!
Mr. Tatler wants to know if it's Harry in.
Well, what's happened, Florrie?
Well, I don't know. She was lying on the floor.
Oh, come quickly, Harry. There's trouble.
What's the matter?
I can't get to Mrs. Sharples.
Once they get to her.
Harry, this is serious. She's lying on the vestry floor.
Mr. Tatler thought perhaps you could burst the door open.
Right, I'll just give it to you.
You're lucky to find him in. We're overslept this morning. He's a few minutes late for work.
I feel quite upset.
Hey, would you like to sit down?
No, I'll be all right. You see, if it hadn't have been for the broken window, we wouldn't have found
No, you're
her.
sure it isn't burglars?
I don't think so. It was the children that broke the window.
Harry, come on.
Right, come on, then.
All right.
Any windows open, Albert?
No, I've tried them all. There's only that broken one, and you'll not get through it.
What about missing doors, then?
Oh, they're all bolted and barred too. I've tried them.
You sure she's in there, are
Well,
you?
have a look for yourself.
No, it's all right. I'll take your word for it, but I don't like busting down doors, you know, for now. Are there any bolts on this one?
I think so, but she never uses them. They're all rusted up.
Oh, to break the window or something.
Yes, well, hurry up. Find
Right,
something
right,
then,
Sure
Andy,
there's
will
no
you?
other way in, is there?
What? No, this is the only room. I've been round all those doors.
Sorry, look.
Come on, lad.
All right, stand back.
Oh,
Something has happened.
Mind you don't hurt yourself.
yeah, be careful, Harry, because that glass looks dangerous. Oh,
Why, it's cold in here, isn't it?
How is she, love?
I don't know. I can't see anything. They usually use a mirror for this. Have you got one, Harry?
Why did they exit? I have a mirror in my pocket.
Would you mind standing back? I'll just light a minute.
How's that?
I still can't see
What are
anything.
we doing in the pitch dark here? It's all those curtains, will you, Florrie?
All right.
Ah, that's better.
Can you hear anything?
Well, I think she's still breathing.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, she looks awful, though.
Isn't she?
And she seems to have cut her head somewhere.
Yeah, well, I reckon she must have knocked that when she fell.
Yeah.
Oh, we shouldn't be mucking around here. We'd better get an ambulance.
Yeah, well, will I go and phone for one of the rooms?
It's all right, love, I'll go.
No, I'll go, love, because they might still be in bed.
Oh, right, all right.
She looks perished, and we ought to cover her up.
Well, can't I do something?
All right, see if you can find some blankets, will you, Florrie? Get as many as you can.
Harry, didn't we ought to pick her up and put her on that sofa?
Oh, I don't know whether we ought. We don't want to do any damage, do we?
No, you're right. Well, we better make her warm where she is.
Aye. Well, how long's she been lying there?
Yeah, I've no idea, lad. Well, I think it's been a tidy while, though. It's like a blooming iceberg in here.
Yeah, the stove feels so it hasn't been lit for months.
So we're lighting it now. We'll have her out before it gets going.
Where's she keep an electric fire?
Oh, she doesn't run to an electric
I've got
fire.
one. Shall I fetch it?
Aye, keep her warm, love, until the ambulance
What
gets
shall I do
here.
about
Well, give her me. We'll cover her up while you've got.
Right,
Yeah,
yes, over here. Right, you can hold that in, Albert.
Poor old bag. You're in a right pickle this time, aren't you?
Do you think we can, Oh, they'll have to put a new lock on that door, won't they?
Aye.
Still, I suppose the mission will pay for it.
They'll pay for it. I reckon she must have had these in her hand when she fell.
Why, what is it?
Mint rock.
Kenneth, have you got bookings for the telephone?
Oh, hang on, I'll just have a look. You don't have to know where Mrs. Lindley's got, do you?
Yes, she's over in the Vestry, Mrs. Sharples. She's had an accident and I'm trying to ring for an ambulance. I can't make anybody here at the Rovers.
Oh, you don't need any pennies. You just dial 999.
Oh, of course.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't this Mrs. Walker coming now?
Oh, well, thank goodness for that.
Is there anything I can do?
No, Harry and Mr. Tatlock are over there now.
Oh, okay, well, I'll get along. I hope everything will be okay.
Thanks very much, Kenneth.
Oh, Concepta, dear, am I glad to see you. I was just saying to Mr. Walker that he'd be sure to help me out in the
Mrs. Walker,
circus.
could I get into the Rovers, please? I want to phone for an ambulance. Mrs. Sharples has had an accident.
Oh, dear, whatever next? Is it bad?
Yeah, well,
Poor
she's
thing.
unconscious. Can't you
Oh,
find
dear.
a key?
I've just been off to see Jack to Barnsley. His mother's been taken seriously ill, 8 to 7. Chronic bronchitis. Oh, yes, here it is, love.
Oh.
Everything happens at once, doesn't it?
How's she looking?
Looks just the same to me.
Except it's taking her time, isn't she?
Oh, but she's happened to knock 'em up. Any road, when she gets through, it won't take long because they've got less than a mile to come.
It's been so long, I thought I'd better lock the
That's
front
all
door
right,
and come out
Florrie.
at the back.
Put it over there, will you? Hey, you're going to be late for your work, aren't you? I don't mind stopping on my own if you want to go.
No, it's all right. I'll see it out now, Mia.
Wherever's Mrs. Lindley got to?
Oh, you've said that twice already.
Well, she's usually open at this time.
Well, she's not open now, is she? I'll give her 2 more minutes and then I'll take my custom elsewhere.
We could have popped into Ina's if we'd been speaking.
Speaking? We're all not speaking. She's had it as far as we're concerned as Ina Sharples.
Aren't we never going to forgive her, Martha?
Are we hackers like? Nobody makes a fool of me twice. I'm not simple.
Well, perhaps she'll apologise.
Well, it's no use this time. It's too late. She's taken things too much for granted. Always has done, as that one.
Well, she never did appreciate us, and we were very good friends.
Of course, it's all your fault, you know. You were always far too soft with her by half. If you'd have stood up to her more, then she'd have been a lot better off and easier to handle.
Well, I did try.
Oh, where is that Florrie Lindley?
I think she'll miss us. It'll be our punishment.
She's a very wicked woman, is Ina Sharples. No wonder she hasn't got a friend left in all the world.
Oh, here's Mrs. Lindley now. Oh, she's coming out of Ina's. I expect she's been delivering.
Oh, Ina always did have grand ideas.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Lindley. We've just been waiting.
Well, I just had to look up. Not all day, you know, Mrs. Lindley. We've been waiting here 20 minutes at least.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Martha, but we have been waiting about
I'm
5.
afraid I've got some very bad news for you.
How do you mean, bad news?
I'm afraid it's Mrs. Sharples. We found her lying on the floor.
Is she very ill?
I'm afraid she is.
Is she very bad?
Mr. Tatlock seems to think so.
Oh, come on. We must go to her.
Where's that flipping ambulance got to?
Yeah, no, it's not a long time, Harry. It only seems like it.
Yeah. Who's going to go with her?
I reckon it'll have to be me.
I can get Concept if you like.
No, it's all right. It's only a matter of waiting, giving particulars and all that, you know.
Yeah.
You ever know her husband?
No, I don't remember him.
No, you wouldn't remember him, would you? He used to come into labour when I were working there. He was a grand chap. She thought the world of him, you know. She became a changed woman after he died. Funny how it affects folk differently.
Aye.
Are you coming in, aren't you?
Come on in over. Come on.
Yeah, hello, Mrs. Caldwell. This is a bad do, isn't it?
How is she, Mr. Tatlock?
No, we don't think she's so good, lass.
Are you not so good, love?
She's unconscious, Mrs. Longhurst.
Oh. You've sent for ambulance, I suppose?
Aye, it should be here any minute.
I think I can hear it now.
come on, if you want to make yourself useful, go and get her a couple of clean nightgowns out of her bedroom, and a clean towel and all. And for goodness sake, hurry up. She'd never forgive us if she woke up in an hospital nightgown.
They're taking in the stretcher now.
Are they? You will forgive me if I don't come to the door, won't you, love? But these things always upset me so much. Concepta, how do you spell excruciating?
Oh, I wouldn't know, Mrs. Walker. It's not a word that I've had much occasion to use.
I suppose I'll have to guess. I really have got to get this letter off to Jack tonight, you know. You know, love, Mrs. Sharples must be well over 60. I know that's nothing these days, of course. Take Jack's mother, 87, and this is the first real illness she's had for years.
They're putting her in the ambulance now.
Poor Jack. He just hates being away from home.
Oh, dear. I do hope she'll be all right.
Oh, where is she?
I'll just see, love. How you getting on, Miss Caldwell? She says she can't find one, love.
Oh, dear, I should have gone and looked myself. Well, she'll just have to bring it up by bus. We can't hold Ena up any longer.
All right. We'll see she gets there, Mrs. Longhurst.
It's nice she was able to have her friends with her.
You know, you need to be friends at a time like this.
Well, that's that, I suppose.
I found one. Oh, dear, I'm too late.
This time, aren't you?
Are you not so good, love?
Poor old Bay. You're in the right people this time, aren't you?
Are you not so good, love?
Poor old Bay. You're in the right people this time, aren't you?
Are you not so good, love?
Poor old Bay. You're in the right people this time, aren't you?
Are you not so good, love?
Poor old Bay. You're in the right.
Hello, Miss Lynn, having trouble?
I can't seem to get the door shut again.
Oh, yeah, let's see if I can help you. Any news about Mrs. Sharples, dear?
Oh, no, her friends haven't been back all day. Mr. Tatlot's just gone to phone, so we should be in soon. Oh,
Right, there you are. Just a bit of stone at the bottom there. It'll be okay. You haven't seen Dad floating around?
Yeah, he called on his way home, but he's gone to help Mr. Tatlot mend the window the kids broke.
Oh, over at the mission, you mean?
That's right.
Right, well, I'll pop over and see if he's still there.
Right, ta-da.
Oh, hello, Kinwell.
Oh, hello, Mr. Tatlot. What did they say?
As a matter of fact, they didn't say anything except she wasn't there.
Not there?
That's what they said.
But she must be there.
That's what I said, but they hadn't even heard of her.
Are you sure you've got the right hospital?
They asked me that and all, and I said I had. Well, I mean, I asked the ambulance chap, and that's what he told me. I know my memory's not as good as it used to be, but it isn't all that bad. Any road, I didn't press it any further because I thought they seemed a bit busy like.
Mrs. Longhurst hasn't been back all day, has she?
No, neither of them have come back yet, I can't think, but they've got to.
It's not usual to keep people hanging about as long as this, is it?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. It seems most peculiar to me.
Oh, hello, Ken. Come on in, then.
Is Dad here?
Yeah, he's in the other room fixing the windows.
Oh, right. Busy?
Ah, just finished. Putting a new lock on, the key broke in it. We had to bust in earlier on today.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, a bit gloomy in here, isn't it?
Ah, the light bulb's gone.
Oh, hello, Ken, lad. You looking for me,
Hello, Daddy. I was wondering if you'd like to come down to Rovers for a pint.
He treats me these days, you know.
I suppose you treat him often enough.
Look, I think I'm going to sit down for a minute, lad. I've been on my feet all day.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, well, I'll stay standing for the opposite reason.
Not been there before, Ken?
Well, yes, but not to notice, if you know what I mean.
It means he was under observation,
I know what he means, all right.
You got to take your hat off, you know, when you come in here.
Yeah, I can remember coming in here when I was a kid with our David, and we were scared stiff. Who's this chap?
Oh, it's her husband. Late husband, I should say.
Oh.
I got married. There's been some alterations around here during the last few years,
Ah,
haven't there?
by heck, they'll have that, Frank. Oh, hello, Albert.
Hello, Albert. Any news, lad?
No, there isn't any. Except that they haven't got a Mrs. Sharples. And don't ask me if I've got to the wrong place, because I didn't.
But she must be there.
Well, she isn't.
Oh, well, I'm taking her to the infirmary, you know, Luke Street.
Yeah, well, that's not what the ambulance man told me.
I know, but they have walkie-talkie sets these days, don't they? I mean, they may have rerouted him.
Do you think she's slung her hook again?
Huh?
Well, you remember last time they took her to hospital, as soon as their backs were turned, she scarpered. Remember, they had to get the search parties out for them.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, well, she hasn't up and left this time. That I can promise you. She's a very sick woman, is Enid Sharples.
Aye, well, perhaps you and I had better go and phone the infirmary, eh? Albert?
Yeah, I reckon we better.
Well, I'll tell you what, Albert, we'll catch you up, lad. I'm just going to get a bulb out at mission for in here, eh?
Righto, Frank. See you in a minute, then.
Ta-ra.
Cheerio, then.
Oh, well, Ken, you've certainly got something to write about now, lad, haven't you? It's all that's been happening here during the last few days.
Yes, I suppose I have.
Mind you, bear that in mind, won't you? I mean, you can't help but say what you try, can't you?
I know, Dad.
Well, I'll go and get that bulb fixed, and we're going to have that pipe we talked about. I got what I could do with it and all after this morgue of a place.
Aye.
Well?
Well, I've left them to it. I must say it's a complete mystery to me. Hospitals are always so precise about these things. Correct particulars before anything.
It'll be the infirmary, I'm sure it will.
Hello, Mrs. Taylor.
Hello. Hey, have you heard about poor old Enid Sharples? I saw it from my window this morning, but Florrie Lynne said it was an accident.
Yeah, I believe it's serious, too.
Oh, dear. You know, the poor old duck must have been lying there when that ball went through the window.
Yeah, we think she was lying there all night.
It's cruel, isn't it, in her time of life and all. Can she have visitors, do you know?
Well, as a matter of fact, Mrs. Tanner, we don't know which hospital she's in.
Oh, it'll be St. Mark's.
Well, that's what we all thought, didn't we, Concepta? But it doesn't seem to be. Harry and Mr. Tatlock are just ringing up the infirmary.
Here they are now.
Hello. Well,
Well, she's not in the infirmary either.
No, it's beyond me.
It's very peculiar.
Anyway, I rang Mr. Baxter up and told him what had happened. Said I'd keep my eye on Vestry till we see how things go.
I don't think you'll be getting rid of that job, Albert.
I hope you're wrong. Any road happened, Mrs. Longhurst and Mrs. Caldwell will help me out under the circumstances.
I wonder if they're back yet.
I don't know. I think I'd better go and look for them. I've got a key for that new lock in my pocket.
Mr. Tatlock, if she doesn't seem to be in any of the hospitals, you don't suppose she could be in the...
Eh? Nay, never.
For goodness sake, hurry up and get that door open. My feet are just about dropping off. I've got the key in my bag. Gum, that lass of Venus can't half talk. She's worse than our Lily, and that's saying something. I thought we were never going to get away.
She didn't seem all that worried about Ina.
Oh, they never do these days, youngsters. They're as hard as nails. Our Lily's just the same. There'll be no weeping for me when I go. Oh, haven't you found that key yet?
Yes, here it is, Martha.
Well, here, hold this and I'll get it open. I'm dying for a drink. Hey, you've given me the wrong key, you soft apers.
No, I haven't, Martha. I only have but the one apart from me own.
Look, Minnie Caldwell, if this was the right key, it would open the door.
Well, perhaps it's bolted.
And it doesn't even go in the lock.
Well, it's the right key, Martha. It's got a bit of white wool on it. Here, let me have a try.
You can try till you're blue in the face. That key won't open this door.
Oh, so you've got back, have you? We were wondering where you'd got to.
Aye, and no wonder either. And now we've got here, we can't get in. She's gone and lost the key.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mrs. Longhurst, I've got it.
But I thought you said...
Well, you see, we had to put a new lock on. We broke that when we were getting in this morning. So if you'll just step on one side, I'll open up. Yeah.
Aye, not before time either. Somebody's been smoking in here.
Aye, well, we had to have a little working party, you see. We had to get that lock mended and that window put in next door.
Oh, well, that were very kind of you all. Ina will be pleased.
Ah, well, I thought I'd better see to it. You see, I felt a bit responsible like having packed the job in. Oh, and I phoned Mr. Baxter and told him I'd keep an eye on things.
You haven't wasted much time, have you?
I don't get you, Mrs. Longers.
You think she's never going to come back, don't you? And you needn't bother to deny it, because I can see it written all over your face.
Oh, Martha, Mr. Tatlock never thought anything of the kind. Did you, Mr. Tatlock?
I should hope not.
Oh, yes, he did. I'm the only friend she's got in the whole world.
Oh, that's not true, and well you know it. Ina's got lots of friends, hasn't she, Mr. Tatlock?
Of course she has, Mrs. Caldwell.
Now, look, you'll just take her clothes and put them away, and then we'll know where to find them when we go to fetch her back.
If she ever comes back.
She's taking it very hard. Oh, she's very upset about Ina. She was in a terrible state when I found her down at the hospital. Of course, I was very upset myself, but one of us had to keep steady.
Yes, and that reminds me. Which hospital did you take her to?
Oh, St. Mark's, of course.
Well, that's funny. I rang them up a while since, and they said they hadn't got a Mrs. Sharples here. How long is it since you left?
Oh, well, it'll be quite some time ago now, because we called in at her door to see, just to let her know what had happened.
That's a right kettle of fish, that is. Well, how was she?
Oh, I think she was about the same. Well, they never tell you much in the hospitals, do they? Anyway, I think she's in very capable hands. But all the same, it's very upsetting.
Yeah, well, I think perhaps I'd better ring them up again. Here, look, why don't you and Mrs. Longers go down to Rover's? It'll be a bit of company for you if naught else, and you could do with a bit of cheering up, couldn't you?
Well, it's been a very difficult day. I'll go and see what Martha
Right,
says.
so, and I'll wait on you.
Well, we've all got to die someday, you know. The old bag's at it day, and that's it.
All right, there's no need to remind us.
Oh, come off it, Elsie. What's the matter with you lot, anyway, walking around with faces as long as suet puddings? It wouldn't be so bad if you meant it, you know. You've got trouble, you know, without taking on other people's, you know.
Oh, go easy. The poor old thing couldn't help it, Len.
Well, don't you tell me to shut up, Barry. I've heard you saying some things about Ina Sharples that would have made her curl. Well, tell me, Elsie, what's so different?
She's a sick old woman, that's what's
Oh,
different.
nobody comes to all of us, do
Aye,
they?
well, I only hope when it comes to you that somebody will speak up for you, that's all.
Look, what difference will they make if they do now? What difference
Oh,
will
you're
they make?
hard-hearted, Len Fairclough. That's
Look,
your
it's our
trouble, isn't
flaming
it?
world,
As I
look.
say.
Yes, Mrs. Longer's been in here.
Well, if she has, we haven't seen her, have we, Harry?
Well, I just met a son-in-law in Maudsley Street, and he said the police had been round and said she was in hospital.
No, not 2 in one day.
That's what he said.
Well, she must have recovered quickly. Look here.
Well, I've found them.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Hey, you're causing a bit of panic, you are, love. You're supposed to be in hospital, you are, you know.
Hey?
Aye.
I've just seen in your son-in-law in Maudsley Street, and he said that the police had been round and you were in hospital.
What are you on about?
Oh, Martha, whatever have you done?
I know what she's done. She's given her name instead of Mrs. Sharples. But don't worry, love. It's easily done when you're upset and all that.
Oh, it was when you were so muddled up worrying over Ina.
If you want me, you'll know where I am.
I think I'd better go into the snug with her, Mr. Tatlock. She's had a very worrying day. I don't think she knows what she's doing.
No, well, you do as you think best. And I'll get on to the hospital and see if her son-in-law's been told.
Well, I've spoken to St. Mark's, and they say that the lady I described as Mrs. Sharples sounds to them like a Mrs. Martha Longhurst.
Yes, we know, love. She's in there.
Oh, well, thank goodness that little mystery is solved.
Did they say how Mrs. Sharples was?
Yes, they said she was doing very well, Mrs. Caldwell.
Oh, I am glad. Oh, Martha will be pleased.
Right, come on, love.
Well, it's nice to hear some good news for a change, isn't it?
If it were true.
Eh?
Mrs. Sharples is on the danger list.